Frame Farm fans, guess what time it is? Time to go play in the dirt. And but guess what we're doing it with? We got to get hooked up to this new thing. And you know what I love about this new item? It's probably in the title, so we'll go and say it's a disc. International, well, case, I guess, just because Tenneco had bought out International before this was made. This would be probably an early 90s, maybe very late 80s disc. Look how easy that is. I don't need a second person. I'm ready to drop a pin. We can't see that from here, but when we get down there, that is a perfect alignment. As we come around the back here, look at our hole, that's almost perfect. Drop the pin. Oh, it's so wonderful. We got a lovely jack. That way we don't have to, I don't know, use something else or sit it on the ground. But you don't have to sit it on the ground because if we come around here, we got that locking mechanism. I guess we can shut the tractor off for now. Woo, it's windy today. Ah, peace and quiet. Of course, then now nickel pull in the driveway. Yeah, so we have this lovely locking mechanism. You can also pick a hole for any depth we want. The cultivator is still there. 21-inch blades that started out as 22s. Unfortunately, it is not a Rockflex. I'm a little worried about that. But I didn't see a single non-factory weld on the frame. It is full box tube, fully welded. The big selling point is right here. It's the adjustment for the gang angle. That it's easy. I really wanted, say, a 490 or a 496. Try to find about a 21 footer would probably be plenty for our needs. But you know what they don't have? Can't adjust the gang angle. You're stuck with whatever they thought was good at the factory. And I'm gonna have the back is almost, it says it's at 15 degrees, which is fairly non-aggressive, but there's a couple threads there. I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if I can't take those out here in a minute. The front is also, I can't see the sticker, the front is also at 15 degrees. Previous owner used this machine for filling in the tile trenches after he had his field tiled. I'm sure you've been eyeballing this special feature. It has hydraulic fold wings. Yep, that'll be lovely. You can see they've played with the spacing some. They've moved these around and possibly made them wider. Just by looking where they've been, it may have only been a 4-blade wing, and they stretched them out as much as possible to make the backs a 6, the fronts are 5s, and it's they call it 19 feet. It's 9-inch spacing. Really wanted 7, but you can't find a disc like this without buying it brand new. Sure, the red paint fades. That's just what red paint does. It's not pink. The previous owner, I love finding these old farmers. This was a farm paper find, not an auction buy. So I got plenty of time to look at it, think about it. And this was in the news, in the farm paper. You know what I love about the farm paper? People have to buy ads. Yes, they have to buy the ad. They have to pay for it. So they really have to want to sell it. None of this Facebook marketplace jack up the price and see if somebody's idiotic enough to pay it and leave it up there for 3 months because the ad is free. No, the paper, they're buying the ad. It's 15 cents a word. And get a 3-week run. And well, they really hope they sell their item because they paid for that ad. So you're going to price it accordingly. Zip ties, anchors, everything's in place. This came from about a few miles away from where we got our 2 planters. We've been mining an area for their small equipment. It's an area where, well, obviously the farmers are in retirement age, but they worked a factory job and, you know, inherited the family 200 and farmed and worked their job in town. And then after they retired, they kept farming, had nice new equipment, had to bury some money from taxes through the years, but didn't need the farm for income. You know, nice deep black dirt up there where it was. And now, well, they're slowing down themselves. Probably renting the ground out to the next biggest yahoo that comes around. But at least I can take the equipment back down to our area that's in fantastic shape, because there's nothing like that anywhere close. Good news is, new tires, they made it home. Drew, I get the 60-something miles home. So I've walked around enough. Let's go ahead and get this hooked up. Might as well get to the action and show it off in the field. Okay, let's see what sort of stuff we got to do, how many zip ties we got to cut. Obviously the best feature, the jack. Oh, this is wonderful. This will probably save the blades a little bit when we store it for winter. We have a lovely place right here on the frame. When we store it for winter, we can leave it up, blades in the air. How safe shall we be? I guess we'll put the safety chain on just to bug whoever has to take this off, which will probably be me, maybe Dad. I don't know. We'll see if we leave the 14 hooked to the disc all spring or not. Oh, that's plenty tight. It'll probably catch weeds, maybe some mud along the way, just because, you know, that's our area. You got to press that pin. This is not a very good area to show you what's going on. And voila, that's the old Case International safety chain. You gotta like press a pin to move this little bar around. Safety first, right? Who are we kidding? Okay, handy dandy knife. Let's get some of these loose. Jeez. Try not to cut a hose while we're at it. There's that. I think maybe we can just slide these two out. Yeah, we'll cut them. They're not doing anything good. These two hoses are the ones with the rough surface, which the rough surface hoses do the wings. I don't know which one's up, I don't know which one's down, but we do need a rag, and at some point on the ride home, not our ride home, but to somebody's home, that's drug the ground. What a joy. Huh. This tractor's too new to have a rag in it yet. Found a handy dandy former t-shirt. That'll be sufficient. Clean it right off. Luckily, these have Pioneer tips. That's most convenient for our needs. Oh, I guess I could sit here and trace one of these lines out, or we could just guess and be happy with our choice. I don't think it'll matter so much, except for when we're... Just have to try going the other way if it doesn't work. Now the up-down I would like to get correct, and we can trace these hoses. This is the up hose, all the way through there. This one on the top. The top's the lift hose. Somebody paid attention when they put this together, possibly. Like, it would have been nice if we'd had... I can't have everything all fancy like, I guess, to have differentiated zip ties for color. This is the top one. You know what? Since we're here, we should pull these out and see how much dirt is hiding behind the rubber in these. Come on. Because you never know. Yeah, there were dust covers, and I've seen dust covers do just as good a job, especially with this style with the little slot in them. You can get a good bit of schmutz build up in there if they're not cleaned out. Ew. You see that? I can see it. Hopefully you can see all the schmutz in the bottom of that. We don't want that going into the system. Absolutely not. I've already cleaned out that side because, well, I've taken the old disc out behind this once this spring, just because. Oh yes, it's April 27th. Man, see that pin in there makes it a real pain to get in there good and deep to get the schmutz out. Let's go find a screwdriver. screwdriver really makes it easier to pull these out. Yeah, there's a good amount of schmutz in that one too, if we can see that. I am not a big fan of these. I almost like having the original style couplers with our Pioneer to International adapters that we then put the full plug style in. Of course, who knows how long it's been since anything's been in these. I figured one set would be cleaner than the other, and they've both been equally dirty. Try to save a little bit of dirt from our filter. Dig around, say we tried and feel better. Maybe we got some dirt on our rag, if not just a little bit of excess oil. I think we did better at getting this side cleaned out than we did the top. Ugh. Now I gotta stuff these things back in there. See, they've got a kind of a little locking ring that goes here in the rubber to hold them in. How much will the rubber stretch? It's a good thing we're not doing this on a cold day. These could be a real bear to work with. But the best part about these are like the little Ford tractors, or at least the ones on the 2029. We just take our hose and stick it in there. Just jam it right in. Don't have to flip a lever or anything else. I guess those are in. As far as we know, we're set. Might have to change angle. We shall see. We are mid adjustment. It's slow moving. We're up here at 15, and I'm gonna take it back, I don't know, maybe to 16 degrees. We'll see. Definitely want a little more aggressiveness on the front than the back, just because I'm sure I'm just setting it up like the way we had our old 470, and the front is more aggressive than the back. Now, looking down here, we can't see probably with the camera through the hoses and everything else, but to make sure the blades are cutting in straight instead of, I mean, they're curved, so you need enough angle so the front edges stay straight forward. If not, you're almost like pushing on the back side versus actually cutting in. Now, we don't need the aggressiveness to cut in deeper, we just need it to get the dirt to throw so we don't ridge. That's 1 degree. Can I tell if there's a whole lot of difference? I'm not sure. We have to loosen these bolts out here. We can always take our tools with us in case we want to go out in the field and change it some more. But like I said, I got that old 470 set up so you could absolutely fly in road gear across the field. And I wasn't too opposed to that, being able to get something done in a hurry. You just gotta get it set up right so the dirt throw doesn't leave a ridge. We'll take it to 17. Why not? We got the room down there, so that's what's nice. The old 470, you can see where these had rubbed for eons. Those have not, those don't touch. I think this disc is that much heavier. Now 17 is almost a nice midpoint, so maybe we'll go with that. Because the 470 isn't all the way full aggressive on the front, and it isn't all the way low on aggressiveness. The problem is now I gotta get a wrench in here to do the jam nut, because I'm sure the socket doesn't have enough reach. Yep, and that's 1 7/8. I do not have a wrench that big. So I might have to go find a pipe wrench. But we can tighten up our outsides. A little bit on that side, reach through. It could have been easier with the wings down, I guess. That's no fun. Yeah, maybe that's the joy of this impact. I could probably get these way too tight. We were already starting to bend the metal there, so We'll call that good enough. Don't want it going anywhere. Gotta snug down these bolts in the center. Now I wonder how many comments we'll get about how to set up your disc and what sort of angle. I guess we're getting it tight. That sounds like it's getting tight. I don't have a wrench on the bottom, unfortunately. Could go find an 1 1/8. And we could try to watch this from the bottom. Huh. Oh, that's reverse. That's not going well. It's gonna make me find a wrench, isn't it? But we can still, watch this process on the back, which I'm really gonna need a pipe wrench, because this setup is not even a mirror image. But because of how the angle works, that's gonna be fun to get loose. And I just want to take those few turns in to make this as least aggressive as possible. That's loose enough. Maybe we can get by with only doing one of these. It's the problem with these adjustabilities. You gotta be a monkey to climb everywhere. But we saw the whole beam move. Now I just tried something. It's not super easy to turn, but it could be harder. And I didn't even do anything to that nut. So that just makes us feel great in the morning. And we got a few more turns on it. We're probably running out of slotted hole the way it's getting hard. Oh, so that's jammed good and tight. There's not a whole lot of thread left anyways. So we'll say we tried. Oh, rats. So my downside of using the impact, I guess, is getting it wedged in there. That's got to be tight. It's definitely not as loose. Play monkey. This possibly could be done from the outside, I guess, but that's no fun. Imagine that's good and snug. Make sure we don't need a wrench for these. We probably do. Gotta find that trusty 1 1/8 plus the pipe wrench. I'm sure we shouldn't just have that hand tight.